Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Master S9886. If you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button. Today we are continuing with the course play tutorial here for you guys. Today we're going to be teaching you guys how to set up a course for cultivating, and we're actually going to show you guys how to bale and transport the bales. So we're going to get into this tractor here. We already have it set up with the equipment. So we're going to hop up into the tractor now. As you guys remember last time, we'll actually shut that down so we can talk. Last time we showed you guys how to create a course with the combine, and luckily for most of it, it is all pretty much the same. So we're going to just get ourselves lined up into a position. I'm going to move it over just a hair. But what we're going to do is we're going to do the same exact thing. So we're going to end up going over into the field work and then course generation, and we're going to be generating the course on field 25. That is the field that we are on. So we're just going to select that. Now we are going to do the headlands like we usually do. As you guys know, I prefer to do 2 or more. So we're going to do 2 headlands with 2 passes, and we're actually going to go counterclockwise for that. And then what we're going to do for cultivating, which I find works best for it, is we're going to change it over to turn. Now you have multiple options. You have turn, round with a turn radius, and smooth. I do turn, and what it does is it brings it down, and then it'll stop, and it'll position itself, and it'll bring it this way, so it hits the corners very nicely. So we're going to generate the course for that there. It's going to be a little bit of a long course for it, but that is pretty much it. We created the course, so we're going to do just field 25, and then this was I forget how big the size was for it, 2.9. So field 25, cultivator, and then 2.9 meter. And then we're just going to tell it to start from the first waypoint, and the combine will, or the tractor will do everything for you. We'll go through. It's actually running at a pretty nice clip too, so it's not going to be too bad for it. And then having that 2 headland, it gives us a little bit of backdrop space here. As you guys see, what it does is it comes to a stop there. And by doing that, as you guys can see, it makes a very nice, clean look for it, making everything go nice and smoothly for it. So we're going to let that run. We're going to hop over to our other tractor. As you guys can see here, we have the baling equipment. We have the square baler, and then we have the bale transporter for the square ones. Now, there are a few things I should say here is that if you wanted to use loading wagon instead, you don't want to bale it, you just want to load it up and transport it out, you can easily do that with the loading wagon here, and I'll explain that as we get closer to that. But we're going to start off here first with the transporter here, because we're going to need to set up a course prior to doing anything else. And what we're going to do is we're going to have to take this to our drop-off point, our sale point, whatever it is that we want to do. So I'm actually going to fire this up real quick, and I have placed right on the farm here a bale sale point. So I'm just going to come over here, because I think this is going to be the best place to start it off. And we're just going to bring up course play here, and we're just going to go through and start course reporting, and we're just going to drive over to our location. Or in our situation here, we have a mod here. It's a bale barn which we sell to, and you're going to drive as close to as you can without hitting it, making sure you go through the square box there. If you want to take your time driving through it, you can. And then we're just going to bring ourselves back to the field. So we'll just come over this way here. I don't believe we're going to get that much from this field that we're going to require this to continuously loop, but you do have that option. And we're just going to bring it back over here, and this should be a pretty good spot to end it. And then we're going to save this in here. So we're going to save it field 24, and this is going to be transporter to barn, we're going to call it. And we're just going to back this out of our way because we don't want it in our way right now. So we're just going to come over here and we're just going to drop it. Now next we're going to do is we're going to hop over here into the actual baler. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of any courses that we previously have pulled up, like that one. And what we're going to do now is that to make sure that we run the exact loop that the combine did for it, is we're actually going to load up that one. So we're going to do the combine harvest one. We're going to pull that one up. And that is going to be it. We don't have to do anything else with that. So we're going to just tell it to start at the first waypoint. I want to make sure you select field work because you do want it to run the equipment. You're just going to tell it to start. And we're going to pull this out. We're just going to X out of that. We're going to slow it down. I don't want to go. This 12 miles per hour is going to be way too much to do this field at. But as you can see, it is working. It's actually a little bit offset from what I can see, which is going to be a good thing. So we're actually going to do a tool offset, and we're going to bring it over this way some because we want to be in line with that, and that actually is perfect there. So we're actually going to tell it to stop real quick, and we're going to take it right back to the beginning. And that's the thing with course play, is you kind of have to learn it a little bit here. You might have to adjust offsets a little bit here, especially when we're using the bale transporter. You're going to make sure the offset hits just right. So we're going to tell it to start there. And as you can see, we hit that just perfectly right there. So we're going to let that run. We're going to pick it up to 9 miles per hour here. 6 seems to be just a little too much, or a little too less, but we don't want to go too crazily fast here. As you can see, it's just going to run the course that the harvester did. And it'll go through and it'll drop off the bales as it went through. I'm going to time lapse this here, and I'll see you in just a sec. Alright, and as you see there, we are done with the course. Open it up here a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to unload the baler to finish that off there, and we're just going to click Y. Now, it's not the best course to do this on. If we had a much larger field and a much larger yield of return, it would be much more beneficial for us. But it does exactly what we need it to do. We don't need it to do anything too crazy, so we're just going to drop that there. The same method still does work if you're using a smaller field or a larger field. But now what we're going to do is we're going to back up to the transporter here. Now we're going to sit there, and it's going to kind of be a little bit easier for us because we already have the harvest course already loaded. So all we have to do, we have one more thing we have to do, and we have to append a course, and it just attaches it to it so that it'll run that course with it here. And we're going to append R1 going to the bale barn, you guys can see there. And so all we got to do is just tell it to drive course from the first waypoint, and it should get started here. Now it will be one of those things where we might have to adjust the tool offset, but that is pretty much all we have to do with it. And it is running that one here. We don't want that course. Just gonna bring this over here. As I said, course delay is one of the things you kind of have to finagle with it a little bit. There we go. And what you want it to do is I'm going to show you here, this line where the transporter is, if you're picking it up, you want that to be the lineup that you're doing, and it kind of looks like it is, which is going to be a good thing here. So we're actually going to kick the speed up a little bit, because we don't really need to be going super slow here. And it's one of those things that you may run into a bale or two. So like for us, we're just going to come around the bale, and then we'll tell it to start again. And that allows us to make sure that we're not running into that bale. And you see it's just going to go around here. So we're going to speed ahead a little bit until we get done there. As you guys can see, we have our cultivator course that we had set up finished completely here. As you guys can see, absolutely no spot missed on that field, which is nice. Yeah, let's see, is it going to pick this one up? Yep, as you guys can see, it'll just pick it up and it will automatically run. And I'm trying to remember the exact course. If you ever have a problem, you can always pull up the course like that, and you'll see. So it's going to come over here, and we're going to end up starting down here, it looks like, in the middle. Yeah. But it's just going to run that back and forth. But if you do have a much larger field, and you know you're going to get a much larger yield from it, it is more beneficial. Something like this, for this size of a field, I actually would have just went with a loading wagon. And running the loading wagon is just like this, where you would just run the field course for the field, and then you'll run your course for the to your drop-off point, to your sell point. But it's just going to bring its way around here, continuing to run the course. You see it's going to run into the bale that's there. But as you guys see, it'll just run like that. We're going to stop the driver here just because it's only the few bales, unfortunately. I wish we would have got much larger yield for you guys to see. But courseplay just works, runs without any problems. And we'll get that, and supposedly we'll tell it to drive course now. And we're going to tell it to drive now, so that's going to put it into the course. So what's going to happen is when you tell it to drive now, we're simulating if it has a full thing where it just empties out. And what's going to do is it's going to, as you guys see, it'll join our course. And it's going to run the course down to the drop-off point, or the sell point in our case, right over here. It's going to come right to it. So you guys see it came right to a stop. It's going to go through and it's going to raise up everything, lower it down. And just like that, it went through and sold the bale for us without any problems. All automated, and that's the benefit of it, is using Courseplay, is you can have it do things that in-game doesn't let you do, and it just runs automatically for you. Once you get it set up and it's going, you more or less can just jump away and do a bunch of different things at one time. But that is going to do it here, ladies and gentlemen, for this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked the video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, comment, and as always, I'll see you next video. Down in the dungeon is all